Okay, and we are live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our 8th webinar in this series. Can you believe we've done 8? That shocked face made me think you didn't. As everyone's coming in, I can see you starting to filter in now. I'm just going to quickly introduce the team. I'm Laura, I'm Head of Customer Success here at CoverageBook. I will shortly hand over to David. He is Head of Customer Support, and he'll run through the demo part of the session. Then, as always, we've got Will over on the chat. He's eagerly waiting to answer any questions you have, so feel free to ask any as you go along. If your question needs more of a demo than a quick reply, then we'll often loop back at the end and David will do a demo. So if you've not been replied to straight away, don't worry, we'll come back to you. And as always, I will send a follow-up from this to anyone who's registered with a recording of the session and any extra notes that we've discussed on it. So don't worry about trying to take notes at the same time, just sit back and enjoy the show. So today we are talking all about outlet metrics, and these are the metrics at publication level. So how many people read the site, follow that influencer, and we're going to go a bit more in depth on how you can customize these if you need to. And also, it wasn't in the promotion, but at the end of the session, David's going to quickly show you our latest release, which is a metrics management area. And this is far more exciting than it sounds, especially if you've been a customer for a while and have a massive drop down of custom metrics. You'll be happy with the changes we've made here. So say hello to some people that have been coming in. Hi Betty, hi Kona. It looks like we've got quite a few people in already. And because we try and keep this to half an hour under, because we know how busy we are, I'm going to hand over to you, David, to do the demo part.
Thanks very much. Let me just share my screen without further ado. Okay, so hopefully everybody can now see my All Books screen from my CoverageBook account. Thanks very much for joining us today. Just a quick recap. We're going to be looking at the types of platform that CoverageBook supports. So that's both online web articles and the 6 social media platforms that we currently collect data and images for. We're then going to have a quick look at what sort of data you can expect to see for each, but it will just be a really brief overview of those numbers. We've got lots of information about metrics in deeper detail. If you would like that, we can share FAQs and other bits with you. After that, we're going to have a look at a couple of major changes that we've made to CoverageBook, which should really help you to individually edit a publication or outlet's information and also its metrics as well, and how you can save any changes you make for future use. So hopefully you'll find this will be a super useful update. And then finally, we'll dive into metrics management, which I'm really excited to showcase. I have created for this webinar a very imaginatively titled book called Publication Metrics. Before we dive into the details, I just wanted to quickly showcase how this book looks if you were to share it as an online link with your clients. And so as you're creating a report, if you click on the preview book button in the top right-hand corner, this will show you how the report will look when you share it with others. You'll notice at the top there's a green preview bar that allows you to go back to editing or sharing your report. The report readers won't see this. It's just purely for your benefit as a logged in user. First of all, you can customize the front cover to anything that you like, but here I have chosen to show the highlighted clips from my report, and that gets pulled through as a nice montage. But yeah, you've got full customization options available for that. The next page down is the metrics summary. I've kept this really simple for this particular book and have just focused on the overall audiences and engagements for the publications that I've added, but you can add or remove as many metrics as you like. and you can drag and drop these cards around when you're editing the report to bump up a key metric to the top, for example. The next section down is the highlights, and currently I have 5 clips that I've highlighted. All you need to do is, when you're editing your report, just click on the gold star in the top right-hand corner of any clip and we'll add it as a highlight. So this is a really nice way to quickly showcase the best pieces of coverage to your report readers. And then finally, we break out into the coverage overview itself. And here I have 3 different sections of coverage. We've got just a single web article to talk about, all of our socials, and then I've chosen some really good examples of clips where we're going to do some editing of the publication metrics and data to show you how they look. What's really good about any online version of the reports that we have is that if you click into any of the sections of coverage, if we've uploaded like a playable embed, you can actually scroll through and play the Spotify playlist, for example. You can play TikTok videos directly from the report. So it's a really nice live and interactive version. Okay, so now let's have a look at the type of outlets and platforms that we support. We're going to start with online coverage. For any freely available to access web article on the internet, we should be able to collect a screenshot and metrics where available. It's really quick and easy to upload coverage as links. All you need to do is click on the green plus bar in the top left of your screen, and you can add up to 250 URLs at a time, or you can upload up to 50 coverage files. So these would traditionally be things like your print coverage, radio or broadcast, etc. Now, you'll notice that at the top of each web article, you'll see that there's a grey area where the outlet or publication level metrics live. And these specifically relate to the publication, not the individual coverage. For example, for PR Week, we've collected a domain authority score of 74. This is a score from between 0 to 100. 100 is the best, and it's an indication of how popular this website is or how influential this website is in terms of search engines rankings. The next number that we collect is unique monthly visits, and this comes from similarweb.com. When you import a new URL of coverage, we will collect the number of monthly unique visitors that all of PR Week, for example, gets in a monthly period. For example, here, around about 140,000 unique visitors land on PR Week every month. And then down on the right-hand side, you will see metrics that relate specifically to the piece of coverage itself. And the first one that you'll see is estimated coverage views or estimated views. This is our own proprietary algorithm, and it aims to predict how many people at an article level are likely to have viewed this particular piece of coverage throughout its lifetime on the PR Week website. If you'd like to know more about estimated views, we've got lots of information, so do get in touch with us or check out our FAQs for more information. And the next metric you'll see for online articles are engagements. These will be the number of times that this coverage has been shared on Twitter, Pinterest, and Facebook. And we roll up all of those shares into one main engagement metric. Let's check out the social platforms. And I mentioned that at the moment, we're currently supporting 6 social platforms, but we are keen to add more support for different platforms in future. So do watch this space. So the first piece of coverage we're going to look at features our CEO and founder, Gary, and it's from the PR Week's Facebook account. So if you upload a Facebook URL, we will collect the number of followers that the account has, and we will also estimate how many people we think have viewed this post throughout its lifetime on the PR Week Facebook feed. We will also collect engagements. These will typically be likes and comments for Facebook posts. Next, let's move on to Instagram. There are three main different types of posts for Instagram. You've got a regular post, Instagram Reels, and also Instagram Stories. I'll quickly touch on all three of those. For a regular post, you can expect to see the number of followers that the account has. We will also predict how many people we think have viewed this coverage, and we will count up the number of engagements. So these will be likes, comments, shares, etc. So this is an example of an Instagram Reel, and we collect slightly different data for Reels. So you'll still see the number of followers that the account has. You'll also see the number of engagements. In this case, this particular Reel has had 12 likes, but we will also collect the number of times this video has been viewed. And this data is pulled directly from the page of the post. Just a quick thing to note here is that it measures the number of views per unique device, not the number of times this may have been played. So it won't count, for example, if somebody's scrolling through their feed repeatedly and they scroll past this reel multiple times. I did mention Instagram Stories. They aren't possible to collect right now because Instagram don't format them in a way that we can get, but I will touch on how you can add stories and make them look really nice by adding them to an existing outlet in your account in the next section. The next platform that we support, and this is our most recent addition, is Spotify playlists. If you import a playlist URL, we will embed a nice live image of the playlist, and we will also collect the number of followers that the account has, and we will also show the number of engagements. And this is broken down into the number of playlist likes, so just over 8 million. But we also collect how many times this playlist URL has been shared on Twitter, Facebook, and Pinterest. You'll notice that there's also a views metric here that has not applicable. Basically, this is an unused metric for this particular Spotify platform because we already collect followers and likes. And if you preview the book and share it with others, they won't see that not applicable metric. So that's just purely an internal only thing that you'll see in your account. Okay, so next up is TikTok. With TikTok, we will collect the number of followers that the account has. We will also show the number of plays of the video, and we will collect social engagements as well. So for this particular post, we're collecting likes and comments. Next up is Twitter. Predictably, we will collect the audience for the account, and in this case, it's the number of followers. We will also collect engagements, so the number of likes and comments, and we also collect, or we also predict using CoverageBook's algorithm, how many people we believe have viewed this post on Twitter. And then finally, we have YouTube. If you import a YouTube URL, we will collect the number of subscribers to the account. We will also collect the number of video views, and we will collect the number of engagements. This will be the number of likes. And as I mentioned before, with any kind of video content, we actually embed that live into the book. You can just click to play the video directly from the report without needing to go to YouTube separately. So that's a really quick whistle-stop tour of all of the platforms that we support and the types of data that you can expect to see when you upload content from those. If you do have any further questions, we can hopefully get to those either in the chat or do come through to us at support@coveragebook.com. We'd be more than happy to help. Let's get on to a couple of exciting updates that we've made to CoverageBook. Just to recap, before, so probably, I think it was a couple of weeks ago that we launched this feature. If you made any changes to an outlet's name or any of the information in this grey area here, or you edited an outlet's audience, we would update those changes across all of the clips in your account. So it was very much an all or nothing change. But we did find that this was quite restricting in some circumstances. And so we've made it much more flexible now for you to make either individual edits to an outlet's name or metrics, or you can save those changes for future imports as well. So that's really good for things like print coverage. And I'll touch on that in a moment. The other thing that this update does is it means that as you import coverage, we will collect an historic record of an account's audiences over time. We won't go back and update an audience from a previously imported clip. So it's a really good way of seeing how coverage improves or can be measured over a period of time. A really good example here is patch.com. We see this as this is one of our kind of most uploaded websites in CoverageBook. And if you've ever visited patch.com, you'll know that it's split up into lots and lots of different cities. So although the overall publication is Patch, this particular clip, for example, is from Denver, Colorado. And we also have another clip here from New York City. But when you import clips from this site, we're just pulling the main outlet name of patch.com, which you see here. And we've had questions in the past that we'd like to be able to edit this title, but not affect other clips in your account. And you can now do that really easily. So for example, I just click anywhere into the gray area at the top of the clip, and I can now edit the outlet details. I can remove the outlet logo, I can change the outlet name, and I can also edit the outlet's description. So for example, for this one, I want to call it Patch Denver, but I don't want it to affect other clips in my account. I'm going to click the uncheck box for apply these changes next time this outlet is featured. Hopefully you can see that box there. This is a really important checkbox. If I uncheck this box, it means that any edits I make to this clip will just be for this one clip alone. But if I want future imports from the publication to apply these changes, I can leave this checkbox ticked, and it means that every future import I make will show Patch Denver, for example. You can go back and change that, so it's not like you're set in stone, but just to let you know, if you only want to make a change to a single clip, just remember to uncheck that box. And now I can hit on Update Outlet. And you'll see that's changed to Patch Denver, but it hasn't affected the other clip in my account. So it just means now I can go in and I can quickly change this one to Patch New York City. I just remember to uncheck that Apply These Changes box and click on Update Outlet. And now I've been able to successfully edit both of these clips for the same publication. Hopefully that's going to help you to really customize your clips and make single edits without it affecting others. We also mentioned metrics as well, so you can do exactly the same for publication metrics. So if, for example, your clients like to use a particular metric that CoverageBook doesn't provide, perhaps another unique visits number from a media monitoring service, you can just click on Edit here, and then you can change that number. And just remember to uncheck the Apply This Change next time the outlet is featured box, and you can save it. And now it's updated to that latest number, but again, it hasn't affected the other clips from the same outlet in your account. If you do have different reporting needs for different clients, you can edit the same publications data separately for each. One thing to mention here is that if you make any edits to CoverageBook's default metrics, you will see that the similar web logo has disappeared from the bottom of this clip. For all of our automated numbers, you will see either the platform that provided the number to us as a verification, or you'll see the little verified by CoverageBook tick next to our estimated views and also engagements. If you make any edits manually to a number, these verified ticks will disappear. So it's a really good way of being able to quickly see if somebody has manually edited a value in your account. And if you want to revert back to that number, you can just click back into the edit box, and you'll see here that we've got a little note to let you know this number's been overridden, and I can reset that to the original value, and that's done. So hopefully that will help you to make individual edits to both an outlet's name and also the metrics. So the next thing I mentioned was, what if you want to change the audience number for a publication and you actually do want that to save for future use? And a really good example of this is print coverage. For example, I've got this demo magazine of the Olive, and I've got a 12,000 circulation. But this is quite an old publication now, and I know that this has increased to 15,000. So what I can do is I can edit the audience to 15,000 and leave the checkbox applied on and save that. So what it means is that any future imports that I make from this outlet will automatically have that updated circulation number. For example, if I just go and upload another print clip from that publication, okay, I can give it a published date, and then at this point I can search for the publication that I want to add it to, and it's the Olive magazine. So helps if I type it right. There we go, the Olive magazine. So I can select that outlet from my account and click on Save to Book. And now when I go and view the coverage, you'll see that it automatically is updated to the correct or newest audience number that I've decided to save for future use. You still can add values and have those update across all of your future clips if you like. Now, the last thing that I want to mention here is Instagram stories. I mentioned that it's not possible right now to automatically collect like a screenshot or an embed of a story or provide metrics for that, simply because Instagram don't format the clips in a way that we can get to right now. But as an example, if you have added any coverage from an influencer to your account before, for example, this particular post from a skateboarder, you'll see that we've already pulled through the influencer's bio information and the number of followers that they have. And so this influencer's outlet, if you will, already exists in the account. All I would need to do for something like a story is I can just go and grab a screenshot of the story, or you can upload an MP4 of that post as well. And then again, I can give it a published date, and then I can actually look up the influencer's account, and then I can just save this clip to the influencer's account in my report. And then what you'll see is that it will actually pull through all of the bio information for that particular influencer, and it will include the number of followers that it's had as well. So this is a really nice way of including something like an Instagram story that looks consistent with the rest of the coverage that you've uploaded to your account from that influencer. So I hope that helps. And then finally, with the next thing that we wanted to showcase is metrics management. But as Laura said, it's way more exciting than it actually sounds. So one of the things that we got asked a lot about on support is, I've added a custom metric, but I can't edit the label, I can't change the description, and I can't delete one that I've accidentally added. And we have now added the option to do that. So if you head to the top right-hand corner and go to the main account settings, you'll see that there is now a custom metrics section. And if you click into there, it will basically bring up a list of all of the custom metrics that you've added to your account. And you'll see that these are all of the active metrics that I have right now. It will also show you how many pieces of coverage you've used this particular metrics label for. And there's a few things that you can do here. For example, with this LinkedIn likes metric that I've added, I've noticed that I've made a bit of a typo here. So I can just click on edit, and now I can just go in and change that to LinkedIn likes. There we go. You can make really quick edits to any typos that you've made with a particular metric, and this will update across all of the clips that you use this metric for in your account. The other thing that you can do is that if you perhaps have an out-of-date metric that you no longer use for a client, for example, this quality score metric was from a KPI from last year that we no longer use, you can just click on the archive button, and this will remove that metric from your account. It won't remove the number from any books that you've added previously. It will just remove that metric label from being visible in your list of selectable metrics. So it's a really good way of trimming down and keeping your current metrics list active so that people don't get confused by which labels they should click on. With an archived metric as well, if you haven't added it to any pieces of coverage, so say, for example, it's a mistake, you can just click on the delete and it will permanently delete it from your account. And of course, at any point, if you want to bring that metric back into your account, just click on reactivate and we'll add it back to your list again. So something that's seemingly simple, but is going to hopefully help save you a bunch of time and really help you to tidy up all of those custom metrics in your account. I hope that's helped. Did anybody have any questions?
Thank you very much, David. That was very useful. I think Will has been answering the questions as we've been going on. There has been one that came through privately that I'm just going to mention, which Will has replied to. But someone asked, is it possible to edit a piece of coverage that exists in more than one coverage book? It's the same link without changing the edits on the other books. Can you show him how to copy a piece of coverage over?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's just take this Patch Denver clip as an example. What you can do is in the clip edit view, when you're in a section, you can make a copy of any clip in your account. If you just hover over the top right hand corner of the clip and click on copy item, this will add an exact copy of that clip to your report. You can now delete the original. And what this basically does is it allows you to make separate edits to this copied clip. So for example, if this was a recurring events or calendar page, or if you wanted to showcase more than one client's mention from the same piece of coverage across multiple books, you can make a copy. And then from here, you have full editing. So you can drag the image frame around to pick out a different client's mention in the report. You can crop it differently. And for things like calendar websites and stuff like that, you can then also click on the Get a Fresh Screenshot link, and that will grab a new image of that page. So if you do have like a weekly updating page, you can make a copy and generate a new version of that page just to keep. I hope that helps.
I think it was great. I like it that Lauren is delighted with the custom metric function. Said it was exciting, didn't we? Ines would like to know how they can check how many clippings they get in total in one account for a specific time frame. So e.g. for one client, how many articles were published in March. So would you like to quickly show the vault to show?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, as Laura said, like if you head to the top left hand menu, you'll see that there's the Coverage Vault link. This contains all of the clippings that you've ever added to your account since you've been a customer with us. And there's lots that you can do here. I won't go over it in too much detail, but you can, for example, click on the columns to the right to reorder by highest and lowest metrics. And then on the left, you have lots of different ways to search for publications. So you can search, for example, all of your coverage from the BBC. You can also search by media type, so you can look at all of the different platforms. You can also search across just a single client's collection folder, or you can do all folders, and you can also filter by individual book. And then at the bottom, you have a published on and added on date range search. It's quick and easy to quickly find all of the clips from a publication over a time frame for a particular client. And then once you've selected those clips, you can make a new summary book, or you can add those clips to an existing report in your account. Just a really quick thing to mention, actually, if you are doing a date range search and you want to create a new book from that search, you need to make sure that each of your clips have a published date, because if they don't, they won't get added when you create the report. But all you need to do is just go into the clip, click into the date there, and you can just pick one from the calendar.
That's brilliant. We've also just had a couple of questions, I think, following the custom metric management on how do you add a custom metric?
Oh, yeah, sure. That would probably be quite a sensible thing to cover.
So, because it was one we slide in at the end, it wasn't related to the webinar.
When you're editing any individual clip, you will see at the bottom of the metrics on the right, there's a green plus add custom metric button. You just need to click into here, and then you can add a custom metric. So at this point, you will see all of the existing metrics that you have already added. This is the list where you can archive unused metrics, for example. And to create a new one, you just click on plus add new, and then from here you can give it a name. We'll just call this one a metric. You can give it a quick description as to what it totals, and then you have the choice to either have it sum up as a total in the report, or you can have an average score. And then all you need to do is just hit on save, and you can now use that metric in your account.
And then when you don't want it anymore, you can use the custom metrics management area to delete it.
Yes, which is the new thing that we've launched. Yeah.
Melissa, yes, there will be a copy of the webinar available for everyone that's signed up. I will send a follow-up email with a recording of this and any FAQs that I think will be useful. Karen, I don't normally send a copy of the Q&A, but I will copy and paste it. And if you could just email your address to support@coveragebook.com, I'll send you through the copy of the Q&A as well. Oh, while I'm looking through the questions, I've got a good one for you. Have you got examples of good custom metrics, David? What would be your favourite that you see when you're on support?
Oh, wow. That's a really good question.
Some people like to do tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. So you can add it in.
I think it's more probably the different ways that customers evaluate coverage, perhaps based on something like an internal scoring system. For example, some customers will work out a quality score from between 1 to 10 that they want to assign to a piece of coverage. And that could be over a range of factors. Individual custom metrics that help categorize the most popular, either by most influential or the best pieces of coverage in some sort of scoring system, quite good to see. We also see things like you can use percentages, so things like a share of voice percentage or something like that, for example, we see quite often that people can import or add from their media monitoring systems.
I think that's some good ones. I was reading at the same time to check that so I'm aware of the time of it. I think that might be, if there's some requests that would be good to like the outlet and to have a copy of the outlet management area, a bit like the metrics management area. We're nodding in support of that as well.
Yeah, really good feedback. Watch this space. It's definitely something that we'd like to work on in future. I'm sure I won't be saying anything I shouldn't be saying, but yeah, that's definitely something that we'll work on in future for sure.
Perfect. And then just one last thing, I can see it's not in the public chat, in the private one, but there's quite a few questions from Marissa. If we've not fully answered everything, I think Will is going through, but if there's anything left, can you just email your address to support@coveragebook.com and we'll go through and answer any that haven't been solved already. That's what my eyes were searching down. But I think that's everything. Lovely to see everyone again. And we changed the day from a Tuesday to a Thursday because of the Easter break. So we weren't sure how it would go down, but it's all good. Nice to see lots of you. Oh, Will's answered everything. Perfect. Good old Will. His fingers are fast, that boy.
Thanks.
Faster than I could read them to check that it was all answered. So yes, if anyone has any other questions, then yeah, feel free to contact us through support. We're usually get one of us three on the other end. We are a lovely bunch, I promise, and we're very nice. And we'll get back to you as soon as we can. And thank you everyone for joining us, and we will hopefully see you on another one soon.
Yeah, thanks everyone. See you later. Bye.